We request all the alumni to kindly be seated in the
We request all the guests to please be seated. We will be beginning the event shortly.
We request all the alumni to kindly be seated in the lawn area.
We request all the alumni and guests to be seated. We will be beginning the event shortly. We request all the guests and alumni to be seated. We will be beginning the event shortly. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the SIES management, distinguished alumni, respected faculty, dear students, and the cherished friends of the SIS family.
Homecoming. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But anyone who has experienced it knows it is anything but ordinary. It is the one day when time quietly steps aside and suddenly years don't matter anymore. You meet people after ages, and within seconds, you're back to where it all began. The same conversations, same laughter, just with a few more responsibilities. Helen Keller once rightly said, "What we have once enjoyed, we can never lose, because all that we love deeply becomes a part of us." At its heart, homecoming is about returning, not just to a place, but to a feeling of belonging, of familiarity, of being a part of something that never really left you. For all of us gathered here today, that feeling has a name: SIES.
SIS is honored to welcome you all to its Nerul campus for the Alumnite 2026. I am Kailash Dinesh, and with me is
Gail D'Souza.
and we will be the host for today's evening. Today marks a historic and defining moment as we proudly unveil for the very first time the institutional flag of SIS. This is not just a flag, it is our identity, our pride, and our shared spirit rising together as one. At its heart stands the shield, unyielding and strong. It symbolizes our resolve to protect knowledge, to stand firm against ignorance, apathy, and narrow thinking, so that enlightened minds may take lead with courage and conviction. Within it rises the sun, radiant and powerful, a symbol of education that breaks through darkness and lights the path of possibilities of generation to come. The colors of the flag are not merely shades, they are our values in motion, energy that drives us, balance that guides us, and depth that grounds us as we move forward with purpose. The core eternal belief remains Nahi Gyane na Sanhesham Pavitrameya Vidyate, which translates to, there is nothing more purer, nothing more powerful than knowledge. As this flag ascends today, it unites us. It carries our legacy, our dreams, and our unwavering commitment to excellence. Let this flag always remind us to rise together, stronger, guided by knowledge. Can we have a big round of applause for the NCC cadets? Thank you very much. This flag does not merely represent us, it binds us, inspires us, and will remind us always to rise with education.
Vedic chanting carries a quiet power, one that steadies the mind, deepens awareness, and brings a sense of inner balance. Its vibrations are believed to harmonize the body's energy, aligning the chakras and creating a state of calm and clarity. It is not merely a sound, but a living tradition that connects us to something deeper and enduring. We begin this evening with the auspicious invocation presented by the students and teachers of the SIES Shri Chandrasekhar Kandra Saraswati Ved Vidyapeeth.
गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत नः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। ममाग्ने वर्चो विहवेश्वस्तु वयं त्वेन्धानास्तनुवम्बुषेम मह्यन्नमन्तां रजिषश्चतस्रस्त्वयाध्यक्षेण पृतनाजयेम। मम देवा विहवे सन्तु सर्व इन्द्रावन्तो मरुतो विष्णुरग्निः। ममान्तरिक्षमुरुगोपमस्तु मह्यं वातः पवतां कामे अस्मिन्। मयि देवाद्रविणमायजन्तां मय्याशीरस्तु मयि देवहूतिः। दैव्याहोतारावनिशन्त पूर्वेरिष्टास्याम तनुवा सुवीराः। मह्यं यजन्तु मम यानि हव्याकूतिः सत्या मनसो मे अस्तु। येनो मानिगां कथमर्चनाहं विश्वे देवासोऽधिवोचता मे। देवी षडुर्वीरुणः कृणोत विश्वे देवास इह वीरयध्वम्। माहास्महे प्रजया मातनोभिर्मारधामद्विषते सोमराजन्। अग्निर्मन्युं प्रतिनुदन् पुरस्तात्। हरिः ॐ।
Thank you for that deeply grounding and elevating invocation.
May we now request everyone to kindly rise for the state anthem of Maharashtra as a tribute to our Karma Bhumi.
बापते ती जिभा सह्याद्रीचा सिंह गर्जत शिवशंभू राजा
दरी दरीतून नाद गुंजला महाराष्ट्र माझा
जय महाराष्ट्र माझा जय महाराष्ट्र माझा काळ्या छातीवरी कोरली अभिमानाची लेणी
ओलादी मनगटे खेळती खेळ जीव घेणी
दारिद्र्याच्या उन्हात शिजला
निधळाच्या घामाने भिजला
देश गौरवासाठी झिजला दिल्लीचेही दस्तराणी महाराष्ट्र माझा जय जय महाराष्ट्र माझा गरजा महाराष्ट्र माझा जय जय महाराष्ट्र माझा
Thank you. I request everyone to please be seated. We request everyone who are still outside to please come inside the lawn and be seated.
Providers and seekers of knowledge do not discriminate, for true education liberates. Savidya ya vumukte. A timeless wisdom from the Vishnu Puran written nearly 2 millennia ago, reminding us that knowledge is meant to free, not limit the human spirit. A liberated mind rises above the divisions of hue, color, or identity and recognizes the same essence in every individual. It is this spirit of openness and inclusivity that has guided SIES throughout its journey. That very spirit now finds expression in the Sarvadharma prayer, to be presented by the students of SIES Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial High School.
Can we welcome them with a huge round of applause on the stage?
या
oppression in other pastures where he gives me repose. Near restful water he leads me to revive my drooping spirit. The Lord is my shepherd, there's nothing I shall want. एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरत, निर्भव निर्भय अकाल पुरत, अजून सैभं गुर प्रसाद. जप आदि सच, जुगादि सच, है भी सच, नानक होसी भी सच. वाहे गुरु जी का खालसा, वाहे गुरु जी की फतेह. यदा हुरियो यदा लुष, आशा चित आशा, वंगे वुष, जस्ता मनम को हो, शोते नना, अंगे हुस मस्ताय, शत्रिमशाय, अहुराय, आये, लड़े गोपियो, ददस मस्ताय रे, अशोने अशिम बहु, वैस्वी, दुष्टास्ति, विष्टाय माय, यादशाय, वहिष्ठाय, अशीम. नमो हरिहंतानम, नमो सीध्यानम, नमो अय्यारियानम, नमो वज्जयानम, नमो लो सौवासाहूनम. ईसो पंचन मुक्कारो, सौवा पाप पनासानो, मंगलानंचन सौवेसिम. पद्मं हवै मंगलम. नम्यो रिंगेक्यो, बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि, बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि, धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि, धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि, संघं शरणं गच्छामि, संघं शरणं गच्छामि, संघं शरणं गच्छामि.
Thank you to the students for that prayer, bringing together many parts in one shared spirit.
Can you ever hold ocean in a jar? Perhaps not. And yet some stories, no matter how vast, must be told. Today, we attempt to capture 94 remarkable years of SIS, a journey that began with humble beginnings in 1932 and grew into a beacon of learning, purpose, and possibility. This documentary offers just a glimpse of dreams nurtured, barriers broken, and knowledge shared selflessly with every seeker without any discrimination. A journey not just of time, but of impact. May we now request you to witness this incredible story. I request the tech team to please play the documentary.
On the 27th of December 1931, a few of the migrant South Indians into the city of Bombay then had assembled in the Indian Gymkhana grounds to address a singular concern of theirs to provide education to the children of these migrant families. And then they gave birth to an institution by name, the South Indian Education Society. On the 21st of April 1932, a legal clothing was provided to this association, and SIS was registered under the Society's Registration Act of 1860. On the 6th of June 1932, the academic journey, the mission of the society began in a very small garage, the Shanghani Garage in King Circle in Matunga, with 6 curious kids for the purpose of empowering them through the process of education. Little would the founding fathers of the institution would have believed and dreamt when the first saplings were sowed by them with 6 curious students, that it shall grow like the proverbial banyan tree, bringing with its influence people of diverse shades, hues and colors, all connected together by a common cord called as education.
From a small beginning in 1932, a journey quietly began. Year after year, milestone after milestone, SIES continued to grow, expanding its reach, deepening its impact. Across decades, new institutions emerged, new paths were created, And with every step forward, the purpose remained the same: to educate, to empower, to shape lives. And the journey truly began with SIES High School. Here, generations of students took their very first steps into the world of learning. For many families, this school became the beginning of a lifelong relationship with SIES, a place where young minds discovered confidence and where the values of education first took root. In 1960, SIES entered a new chapter with the establishment of the SIES College of Arts, Science and Commerce. This marked the institution's expansion into higher education. The college quickly became known for its strong academic culture, especially in the sciences. Well-equipped laboratories and dedicated faculty created an environment where students were encouraged to explore, question, and innovate. For many alumni, this campus became the bridge between education and ambition. The SIES College of Commerce and Economics, established in 1989, became an important center for business education. Its classrooms prepared students for careers in finance, entrepreneurship, and management. Here, analytical thinking met practical understanding of the world of commerce. And another generation of SIES students began shaping their professional journeys. The development of the SIES Nerul campus marked a major moment of expansion. With larger spaces and a modern integrated campus environment, SIES stepped into a new phase of growth. The Nerul campus brought together multiple disciplines under one academic ecosystem: engineering, management, packaging technology, pharmaceutical sciences, environment management, Institute of Comprehensive Education, and emerging fields. Modern infrastructure supported research, innovation, and industry collaboration.
There have been vast changes in the landscape of education that has been taking place in the country. One of the key elements to the success of new educational plan is to revive the glory of universities of yesteryears like Nalanda, Pataliputra, Takshashila, to recreate them across the landscape of higher educations of learning in the country.
In 2017, SIES welcomed a legacy institution. Established in 1962, it was already known for academic excellence. Renamed SIES Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial High School, it now continues that legacy. From kindergarten to secondary education, the school focuses on nurturing young minds during their most formative years, building confidence, curiosity, and strong values. At SIES, education extends beyond academics, into service, into leadership, into responsibility. The classroom was one part, the character-building environment was another.
For long, we have never realized the dominant role of our alumni in the growth and development of our institutions. There is much, much more that this stakeholder can give to an institution than merely unfolding his purse. The expertise that they would have gathered over years of professional work post leaving the institution has never been harnessed by us. We begin a new academic journey of involving a dormant stakeholder into mainstream functioning of the society.
Being an alumni has been wonderful because I truly believe that SIES College of Management Studies gives us the edge. It's not only about, in terms of the numbers or placement, but also the values-driven education was very strong. So thanks to this, I did get that foundation to lead forward in my life.
Looking back at my time at SIES, it wasn't just to get a degree. It was a launchpad. A launchpad that has shaped my career that now spans many countries and industries. Now, as an alum, that network and those core principles that I learned then are still as valuable.
Wherever I go,
I'm always going to carry this little piece of SIS in me. It's my values, it's the way my personality groomed over the last years, and I'm very proud of it.
If not for SIS, I don't know what I would be doing. The 3 years in college, not just shaped my career, but also in every sense of the word, gave it a certain direction.
I wish I could relive our college days, the canteen, the food, the friends I made there, and the campus was so beautiful. I just miss my college days. It just made me the person I am today.
Right from India to the UK to Hong Kong and now in Singapore as a management consultant with IBM, it's been a true global journey, but the roots were planted here in SIS College.
As I see it today, as an alumni, I'm also the secretary of the Alumni Trust, a member of the Academic Council, a member of the College Development Committee, because I make it as a point to give back to the college in its path to glory.
I am a proud product of SIS College. Every inch of me. I have been in junior college, senior college, in SIS, and after my postgrad, I came back and taught for a couple of years. So everything I know, I owe to SIS College. College has been able to produce people with 360-degree perspectives and therefore has produced leaders in all walks of life. It has also contributed to the cultural world. Greats in music and arts have come from SIS College. On this occasion, I want to wish the college all the very best. May you continue with your brilliant activities and produce leaders at the national and international level in all fields.
As SIES moves toward its 100th year, a new chapter begins. A moment not just to reflect, but to build what comes next. With a clear vision for 2032, SIES is building for the future. Stronger academics, deeper research, and global relevance.
A state-of-art center of excellence is being created. A new building, complete in all respects, being made available to us. And in just about a month or two, we shall start the work of internalizing the proposal for AI. It shall be our effort to provide 4 verticals to begin with. AI in healthcare, dominantly into pharmaceuticals. AI into media, AI into education, AI in governance and ethics. As we flower these verticals along, we shall expand the sweep and the reach of AI to every aspect of human activity, which provide ease for living.
Incubation centers will support students and entrepreneurs in transforming ideas into real-world solutions. At the same time, new institutions across physiotherapy, nursing, law, foreign languages, education, and fine arts will further expand the SIES academic ecosystem, all aligned with one vision: to strengthen SIES as one of the most admired academic institutions in India, preparing leaders for the future.
Our campus is good for a long haul, good for all ages, good for all seasons, good for all those who want to contribute to the goodness of humanity through the process of empowerment, enlightenment, and enrichment, which singularly only education and education alone can give. As long as we do not lose sight of these principles, which are the soul of our society, then we can lay claim to a future as exciting and brilliant as our past. We invite all of you to join us in the journey called education and realize the India of our dreams.
Can we have a huge round of applause for this inspiring journey that reminds us not just where we began, but how far we have come and how much further we're destined to go. Before we move ahead with the ceremony, I request all our guests who are standing outside to enter the lawn and please be seated.
We now request our respected patron, Padma Vibhushan Dr. Manmohan Sharma Sir, the Honorable President of South Indian Education Society, Dr. V. Shankar Sir, and the working president, Shri M.V. Ramnarayan sir, to kindly grace the dais.
Can we welcome them on stage with a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen?
There are moments when institutions pause, not just to celebrate the present, but to remember the shoulders on which they stand. SIS has been shaped and guided by extraordinary minds like Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Padma Vibhushan Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan, and Padma Vibhushan Dr. R. Chidambaram. Though they have moved from the seen to the unseen, their vision and blessings continue to guide this institution quietly and enduringly. Carrying that very legacy forward with the same depth and distinction is someone who stands with us here today. We have the privilege of welcoming our patron, Padma Vibhushan Dr. Manmohan Sharma sir. This name commands respect, not merely for what he has achieved, but for what he represents. Excellence with humility, knowledge with purpose, and guidance with grace. He does not just bless this institution from afar, but he remains closely connected, offering his wisdom and presence in person. In many ways, his presence this evening makes this homecoming even more meaningful. For some introduction, words are never enough, and this is one of them. So instead of attempting to list his many achievements, we invite you to witness a glimpse of his remarkable journey. May we request the tech team to now please play the video.
Warm respects to you today as my most respected guru, my mentor, and my enduring source of inspiration. Thank you for everything that you have done for me. The book describes Professor Sharma as a selfless Gyan Yogi and Karma Yogi. But to me, he is much more. He is also a yogi of Samruddhi, a yogi of national prosperity. Professor Sharma believes that when Saraswati and Lakshmi work together, no power on earth can prevent India's emergence as one of the world's most prosperous nations. And my fifth idea is not an idea, it's an instruction that Professor Sharma gives me, and when, like he gave to my father, when he tells us something, we just listen, we don't think. So he told me, Mukesh, like you have to do something big for ICT. So I said, sir, you tell me whatever you want. So he says, announce 151 crores to ICT on an unconditional basis. And I am very, very pleased to announce that for Professor Sharma. Professor Sharma, my warm respects to you today as my most respected.
We now request our President, Dr. Shankar Sir, and our working President, Shri M.V. Ramnarayan Sir, to kindly felicitate Padma Vibhushan Dr. Manmohan Sharma Sir.
Can we have a huge round of applause? What a beautiful moment in the history of academia. Can we again have a huge round of applause for them? We now request our distinguished alumni and SIES Bhushan awardees to please join us on the dais. I request the NSS volunteers to kindly assist them with the same. Can we have Shri R. Ramanujam sir, Shri Bhaskar Bhatt sir, retired Justice K.R. Sriram sir, Shri Sai Ram sir, Srimati Suma Shirur madam, Shri U. Shekhar sir, Shri Mehul M. Shah sir. Can we please welcome them with a huge round of applause on stage? Can we welcome them on stage with a huge round of applause? It is now time for the presidential address. Ladies and gentlemen, every institute has a history. But once in a while, an institution is fortunate enough to have a person who creates its history. Dr. V. Shankar is one such leader. At age of 73, he has spent 68 years with SIS, not associated with it, but living it at every stage of his life. He began as a young student at SIS High School, went on to study at SIES College of Arts, Science and Commerce, returned as a teacher at SIS College of Management Studies, and later, as a parent, entrusted the institution with his next generation. Then comes the journey of leadership. A founding member of the SIES High School Ex-Students Association, a member of the Managing Council, 25 years as Honorary Secretary, and for the past 15 years, the President of SIES. If one were to trace growth of SIES over the decades, one would find Dr. Shankar sir present at every turning point, every milestone, every leap forward. In fact, all the institutions that stand today beyond SIES High School and SIS College of Arts, Science and Commerce are a reflection of his vision, his perseverance, and his unwavering commitment. Behind this remarkable journey lies an equally inspiring legacy. His father, who served SIES for 42 years, laying the foundation of a tradition that continues to thrive.
So today, as we invite him to speak, we are not merely calling upon the president of SIES. We are inviting a lifetime of experience, a legacy of service, and a story that continues to inspire. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now request Dr. V. Shankar sir, President of the SIS Group, to deliver the presidential address. Over to you, sir.
माला सुदाम कुंभ विद्रा विद्याविराजत करवारी जाता अपार कारुण्य सुदाम्बुराशिम Sri Sharadamba Pranatosmi Nityam, seeking the benediction of Jagannatha Sharda Parmeshwari, Vagdevi Saraswati, that repository of all that is culture, knowledge, tradition, wisdom, art and learning and fine art, I bow to her as I commence my address today. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this pleasant function organized this evening by the South Indian Education Society SIS Alumni 2026. For the first time ever in the 9-decade-long history of this institution, the Society has organized an alumni reunion across all the institutions. Every institution has its own reconnect with its alumni through such reunions occasioned every year by students passing out of the portals of this institution, celebrating their decennial, their silver jubilee, their ruby jubilee, coral jubilee, golden jubilee and even diamond jubilee since their passing out from their institutions. The core purpose of this alumni is not only to revive and rebond with the alumni, but also bring to fore the fact that destiny has brought all of us together through our alma mater to be lifelong friends. And more than that, we are not just limited to being alumni of the institutions from where we are passed out. We are part of the larger SIES family. We have carried the legacy of SIES into our careers, professional ecosystems, into our communities and families. Today it's more than a reunion. It's a celebration of what we were. Some noise is there. Their mobile kuch nahi hai baba. It's a celebration of where we were, where we are, and where we shall move, of course, ascendancy in the distant future. It's a bridge that connects the past with future. More than anything, it's a reminder of the fact, no matter whatever lifestyle changes would have taken place since we had passed out of the portals of the institution, to a point that we cannot be identified, recognized by our own benchmates and classmates. And no matter whatever position in life or power authority that we wield today, we can never erase from our minds and also from our personality that unique identity, that lifelong identification called as SIES Alumnus. The word alumni and alumnus are derived from the Latin verb alare, which means to foster a child, to feed and to nourish. An alma mater is therefore an institution that nourishes the young ones and feeds them with knowledge. It is this wide import of the word alma mater that brings out the glory, the greatness of the connect between the institution and its students, both past and present. Whatever we are today is an outcome of our own efforts, sacrifice, perseverance, and perspiration. But there is something beyond that, that invisible hand, that hand of love and affection that tended us in the formative years when we got into schools and early parts of the colleges, that guided us during that period, infused into us those values and character, that man-making character formation, assimilation of ideas, ingrained into us all that nobility and the passion to excel and the burning desire to succeed in life. This role of our teachers also has a contributory and a catalytic influence on whatever we are today. It is this relationship between the alumni and the institution that we are celebrating today. Any excuse for celebration is fine. Celebrations are of two types, of thanksgiving to the divine and to keep the past behind, knowing full well that this life is eternal. Friends, life is like a Christmas tree, evergreen and fresh. No amount of snow or storm can weather its petals. So too is the human spirit. Despite the clouds of adversity through which it passes, in a person's life sojourn, it always emerges triumphant by its very nature, human spirit is celebration. But then not all gatherings in life are celebration. Only when a purpose is attached to that, that celebration becomes sacred, and then the body, mind, and the soul are in sync with each other. This evening, we are experiencing an hybrid of both these contributory factors that give rise to celebration. First and foremost, of course, is thanksgiving to the divine for having given us this blessed evening. The Isopanishad says, Isavasyam idam sarvam yat kanchane jagatyam jagat. Whatever happens, wherever happens, is permeated by the same divine force. It is that blessed force that has facilitated the convergence of all positive forces to descend onto this assembly this evening and give us the benefit of an experience, moments of pride and joy, which we shall cherish for long, long times to come. An academic institution is the sum total of the ethos of the institution, the vision of its leadership, the razor-sharp intellect of its faculty, the deep and abiding commitment to the students of its staff, the soaring ambitions and dreams of its students, and above all, the largesse and the gratefulness of its alumni. A very strong alumni network is an extended identity of an academic institution. A very rich alumnus base adds to the legacy of the institution and provides the wind beneath the wings of those students aspiring to soar high into the sky to find their place as achievers in the global map. Institutions are known beyond their physical walls across the 7 continents by their alumni. Loyalty is a two-way process. It applies equally to alumni relations. Alumni are the goodwill ambassadors of an academic institution, carrying the richness of its contribution, its purpose, its intent, and its sacrifices to the society at large, so that a broader, wider perception of the institution is made to earn the goodwill of the society for the institution itself. We are meeting today in the Nerul campus of our society. This was inaugurated the 16th of June, 1996. 3 decades have rolled by since this campus was created. It is named after the Mahaswami of Kanchi, Puja Sri Chandrasekharendra Saraswati, the 68th Shankaracharya of the venerated Kamakoti Peetham. He was a spiritual colossal. He was the voice of eternal India. This master of masters was like a lambent light who rekindled the spirit of the nation and brought about a renaissance in many fields of religion, thought, and process. He taught mankind groping in the dark, despite all the strides in science and technology, as to how to journey to a higher destiny. It is 32 years since he has moved from the seen to unseen. We still hear the divinity of his voice and the infinitude of his presence. The SIS College of Management Studies was the first institution to have come up in this campus. And the first academic program that started in this campus was a collaboration with the reputed London School of Economics and Political Science, bringing into India for the first time through SIES, BSc in Economics, BSc in Management, BSc in Public Policy, along with the related diplomas as educational offering for the first time to the students of this country. From then on, each year, new institutions have been added into this campus. Today, this campus is bursting with seams. Singularly, is contributing to the maximum number of alumni into the already overflowing reservoir of alumni of SIES. And after this campus at SIS here, there are 3 more campuses in Navi, Mumbai, which have seen the light of the day. This growth and expansion of SIES, which was encapsulated in the documentary, gives a glimpse of all that SIS has been. To those of you who have passed before 1996, you might have only seen the SIS High School, the SIS College of Arts, Science and Commerce, and to very few, the SIS College of Commerce and Economics. you might not have kept pace with the happenings in the institution. I therefore deem it appropriate that I carry a glimpse of all this growth beyond what the documentary has said for your benefit and for countless number of people who are linked to the live transmission of this to know what SIS is today than what it was during their times. There are several anecdotes, experiences, events that cross our mind this evening. There is a gentle hand of that invisible teacher of yesteryears who tended us and cared for us and who have brought us to whatever we are today. It is these teachers and the staff of the institution who are the backbone of our institution. They are the lifeline of our institution. They have stood like a rock behind the institution in its long journey in periods of vicissitudes, turbulences, highs and lows. They have risen to the occasion every time when time demanded of them to do that. They were never clock watches. They never limited their functioning to the terms of engagement, the rules contained in that letter of appointment that engaged them. They went beyond the call of duty. Their association with the students was just not limited to the classrooms where the students studied, into the campus, but much more than that, into the drawing room of the homes of the children. Their connect with the students was no less than that of the biological parents. They were paid a meager salary out of the meager fees that was collected by the society from the students. The fees was always kept low so that the poor and the vulnerable sections of the society were not bolted out of the educational offerings that our society provides. The sixth pay, the seventh pay, and now the eighth pay is on the anvil. They had seen no pay commissions. There were no superannuation benefits, the bouquet of portfolio of benefits that are given to you when you sign off after long and devoted service that shall ensure that the residual journey is maintained with dignity. They have found it extremely difficult to meet their ends, but still they have lived a life of grace and charm, one that is worthy of emulation. Any engagement this evening is incomplete without paying our tributes to these teachers and the staff of these institutions who are behind whatever we are seeing of SIES today. Most of them who are surviving for reasons of geriatry could not be present here today. And most others, the majority of them, have already terminated their life journey and gone to the abode beyond to be in the company of their Creator. I'm sure this evening they will be smiling and will have joy at the happenings in this campus, and they will shed their grace on all of us and all other stakeholders of our society. There is something on the history of the institution that was given. I'll expand it for you. On the 27th of December 1931, as the documentary correctly said, a few of the migrant South Indians assembled in the Indian Gymkhana grounds opposite the SIS High School. The school came much later. The Gymkhana came much before, and they addressed the burning issue of education for the children, and then it was decided to form an association. A resolution was passed, moved by one Mr. Neelakantan and seconded by one Mr. Vaidyanathan, that an association by the name South Indian Education Society be formed. It's a travesty of history, poor documentation, that this society of ours over these 90 years know nothing more of these two gentlemen who gave birth to SIES, except as proposers and seconders of the resolution that gave SIES. We bow our head in reference to these invisible people. We had attempted to find out whether anyone knows anything about them, but we have come to a naught. But then wherever they are ensconced, I am sure our tributes will go to them for all that they have done to sow the seeds for this great institution of ours. On the 21st of April 1932, this association was registered under the Society's Registration Act of 1860, giving it a legal clothing. On the 6th of June 1932, the academic journey began with the primary school with 6 furious kids starting their journey in the primary school in the Shangani garage. What the documentary did not tell you is all the 6 children were children of the founders and members of SIES. Even before they created an institution, they had confidence that they shall create an institution of excellence. Therefore, they risked and staked their children's career into the institution when they knew that all that we had was a rented garage. The seeds that they had sown on that day, little they would have realized, would have sprouted and blossomed over time like the proverbial banyan tree, bringing within its sphere of functioning and influence people of all hues, shades and colors, connected together by a common cord called as service through education. On an occasion like this, there can be no better way to pay tributes to them than to carry the rich tradition that they had set for this institution 9 decades ago. The documentary gave a brief of what SIS is all about. An institution with a living history of 90 years can never be captured in a documentary, much less in an address like this it can be encompassed. But I can promise you that from now onwards, when we activate the digital media, we shall give snippets of the glorious past of several events that cross my mind today, which should come to the attention of all people who are interested in the SIES. Suffice if I can say 1 or 2 things about those events. When the Institute for Climate Change, Geneva, was given the Nobel Prize for climate change in the year 2006, the chairman of the Institute for Climate Change took a color Xerox of the Nobel certificate and endorsed it in favor of the South Indian Education Society and said, but for the work that you have done in climate change, from a very small place of a small institution in a small city called as Bombay, he said, we would have not been acknowledged by the world with the Nobel Prize. So these are testimonials that we should cherish, we should be proud of, and carry forward to reach greater heights of glory in the years ahead. Over these 9 decades, the growth has been very slow, painfully slow, because of the belief of the founders of this institution. They never wanted to mortgage for posterity a prefixing and suffixing of the name of South Indian Education Society to any donor. They believed that payment of interest on borrowed funds is a sin. It's a tax on the fees to the student community, and they should confine their growth to whatever resources were at their command. And that's why we grew slowly. But then, ever since the National Education Policy of 2020 saw the light of the day and it was promulgated, there have been vast changes in the landscape of education in this country. The single purpose of National Education Policy, if it is stated in one sentence, is to make India a preferred destination of choice for all knowledge seekers across the globe. To revive the greatness of Indian universities of the bygone eras, like what it had said about Nalanda, Takshashila, Patliputra, where people from across Southeast Asia, when there was no transport system, when there were no roads, they had come to study the 64 arts in those 3 universities. It is reviving the glory of the university system that is part of the objectives of the National Education Policy. But the principal change that the National Education Policy is bringing out, thanks to the pandemic that afflicted every human activity and derailed every human endeavor, is that technology has become part and parcel of the educational delivery process. Today you cannot separate technology from education. Education no longer is from brick, mortar and clay classrooms. At the click of a mouse, you can reach out the best of teachers in the world on the best of subjects which you would like to have at a fraction of the cost that you could listen to him and understand your subject. So vast changes are taking place, and if we do not keep pace, all the growth of these 9 decades would be wasted and we will be made to stand where we are. Technology, my dear friends, is cost intensive. The rate of obsolescence is very high. Large infusion of funds are required to support educational delivery systems through softwares and application technologies. And this is the time for the alumni of the institutions, whom nothing was asked for in the last 94 years, to contribute to the technological evolution of our educational system so that we can meet the growing demands and aspirations of the student community. This is the time for the Guru Dakshina, much more than the monetary contributions, which of course are relevant. What is more relevant is to share your core competence, the experiences that you all have gained over time in whatever fields of pursuit you have been, the high degree of networking that you can bring forth thanks to the exalted positions that you all occupy. And more importantly, mentor the young ones who are now waiting for mentors to take them to levels that you all have achieved in this long journey of yours. And that will indeed make a difference. We applied to the University Grants Commission, the custodian of higher education in this country, for SIES University. By the fall of August this year, academic year 2026-27, SIS University shall see the light of the day. Now is the time for us to lay the foundation for the university, no less than the foundation that my founding fathers had done 94 years ago, deep, strong, on which several opportunities have come, and each one has been delivering excellence in the chosen pursuit, the fields of study of specialization that they are engaged in. Now is the time for us to evolve the SIES University. A university system gives us the autonomy for devising the syllabus, the content of what we want to teach the children, the contours of education, the delivery systems, the examination systems, the entry and exit for a student. It can be a lifelong learning process in an university. But the fact that most of our institutions, when they were affiliated to the University of Mumbai, have acquitted themselves extremely well, and they are today the admiration of the student community. If by any chance the quantity and the quality of our efforts in this field of high endeavor were to suffer when the SIS University functions, it shall be the greatest disservice that we shall ever do to the student community. Therefore, this cannot be a Me Too university. It cannot be an also-ran university. Mushrooming of universities are coming up in the landscape of education of the country, several of them with political patronage, with no serious educational visions. But in the committee of such universities, it is very easy for us to shine brightly if we set the foundation correctly. It is our desire that the SIES University should be run, managed, guided, mentored, and taken ahead by the alumni of the SIES institutions. Little will you know that till 1990, the highest body of SIES, the governing council, the managing council society, could have only past students as members of the managing council. Then we created space for experts to come in and give a whiff of fresh air so that blind spots do not come to us. Even today, 75% of the managing council comprises of people who have partaken the benefits of education in any one of the institutions of SIES. So when I say that we are trying to have an SIES university to be run by the alumni, I am not tracking a new path. I am just saying that we will continue what we have done till 1990. One of the conditionalities for the notification of an university is the creation of a corpus fund of rupees 25 crores to be used exclusively for the growth and development of the university. And it is my belief and desire that the entire corpus should come from people who are going to run that university, from the alumni of this great institution of ours. Not just contribute by themselves, network with other alumni who are not present over here today, not even connected to our portals, and all those who are interested in the cause of education, to swell the coffers of this endowment fund far more than 25 crores, so that one of the most outstanding institutions of excellence under the university umbrella can be created. You saw a glimpse of what we want to do in the coming 3-4 years. The institutions on AI, which we will start immediately, the verticals that we have identified for AI will open a new chapter as far as the visible face of SIS is concerned. Very few of you know that it is the institutional social responsibility of SIS which drives SIS. Countless number of schools in rural areas, Jilla Parishad schools, have all been renovated, basic education funded and given by the South Indian Education Society. The size and the scale of our investment for the good of countrymen in rural areas is to be seen, to be believed. The one in Shapur, where Adivasi children, 400 girls are provided full-scale hostel accommodation and education, and another 600 Adivasi boys partake the education as day scholars in an institution not far from here. Countless number of army schools across Maharashtra, Gujarat and Goa, and even beyond into the border areas like Doklam or Leh, Ladakh, have all been renovated and made fit for the army to run those schools, either for their children or as a goodwill for the community around, so that they would not disturb the functioning of the Indian Army. This social responsibility shall continue to be the driving force of SIES, of taking education beyond the classrooms for the life situations in the ground reality of the world. So, when we think of starting the SIS University, there is need for us to bring the alumni together. For us to bring all of the teachers and others together. And now you can understand why after 94 years of wasted efforts, we have first thought of bringing you all together, not just to the institution to which you belong, which of course has been doing every year, to bring the entire alumni of SIES, running into several lakhs of people. And I can tell you with confidence that the maximum number of alumni in the United States of America would come from this institution. I can count to 10,000 for you without getting into the details. So this alumni is unifying all of them to drive SIES forward in the years ahead. On the 15th of August 2008, we celebrated the Platinum Jubilee of our society, the Amrit Mahotsav. 75 alumni of exceptional merit and outstanding achievements were honored at this very platform at the hands of Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. But that was one of a sort. One for the occasion, one for that milestone. But today, we are taking a major step forward in institutionalizing a platform for celebrating the excellence of our alumni. With the setting up of the SIS Distinguished Alumnus Award, the SIS Bhushan Award. In a reservoir which is overflowing, an ocean full of pearls, to think of only Navaratnas, 9 amongst them, is a challenge by itself. This evening, we have 9 such stars who are being decorated. But then this is the beginning of a journey. Each year, in the last quarter of the academic year, we shall have alumni of that year, where a minimum of 9 SIS stars will be decorated with the same honors. To most of you who would have felt, oh, that was missing, this was missing, nothing will be missing. And each one of them will be brought onto this platform, they have kept not only themselves proud, their nation proud, their families proud, but kept the SIS flag flying high at all times. These 9 did not hanker for any awards. They did not chase glory. And in American parlance, they did not lobby for these awards. It has come to them on the sheer merit of their accomplishments. It is one thing to deserve an honor and not have it. And the other thing is to have it and not deserve it. Dignity lies not in possessing an honor, but deserving an honor, said Mark Twain. Honor and shame from no condition arise. Act well your part. Therein the honor lies, said Pope John Paul VI. Each one of them have acted their part very well. That this evening we shall rejoice, celebrating their achievements and decorating them so that the children of our institutions, they would be the eternal source of inspiration, levels to which they themselves can reach if they were to put in those efforts that these stars have put in. We are beholden to all the 9 of them, 2 of them digitally connected, 6 of them physically present, and 1 who could not be present but still made it a point that her husband, 80 years old, who is also an alumnus of SIES, will come all the way from Chennai to share the joy of the alumni being decorated with this honor. Scriptures can be rewritten. Time will do that. History for SIES is creating something new, something original, not the art of concealing the origin and claiming originality. It is sincere, serious efforts to foster research into those areas of human endeavors that shall make life easier. Nobility of life itself shall be sharpened at the altar of the educational institutions by the thinking process of the students and the teaching community. That is the difference that we are trying to make, which we shall continue to make in the years ahead. And I shall quote one more example for you. When the corona pandemic came, the Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation was in a tizzy. The rate of affliction of corona was very high in this area. They wanted to create hospitals overnight. Creating hospitals overnight is not possible. One that they could not even achieve was the beds. From where do you get so many beds for so many hospitals? The SIS School of Packaging created for them the durable, those cots out of 5-ply graduated, which was far more stronger than the tensile strength of steel or iron, and created overnight the first hospital in Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation. In a matter of 2 to 3 days, 5 lakh masks were generated through our social responsibility, through the women empowerment programs that we do, to be given to everyone on the streets during that pandemic. This is how education intertwines with this. Therefore, we shall blaze a new trail. We shall seek a new path. Others can borrow a leaf from us and join us in this path. Our compass is good for a long haul, as I said in the documentary. Good for all ages, good for all seasons, good for all those who want to contribute to the greatness of this land, stamp infinity on the thought and process of this land, and add to the reservoir of goodness of this ancient civilization of ours, and singular factor through which this can be achieved easily compared to any other medium that governments of the day can apply is empowerment, enlightenment, enrichment, elevation through education. And that is the purpose of what we are in today, there for 94 years till yesterday, and many more years to go. In about 5 years from now, we shall be recreating all those foundational activities that the documentary spoke about and which I also told. And we shall celebrate the year 2031-32 as the centenary year of the South Indian Education Society and the SIES High School. what is there in 100 years? It's an influx of time, it's a certainty which every being, human or otherwise, if longevity is there, you can reach. Elephants reach. People who cross 100 can reach. But institutions are structured for perpetuity. We live in deeds and not in years. One crowded hour of glory is far more worth than a listless century without mention. If we have to graduate this centenary celebrations of SIES into a century of academic bliss, then we have to redouble our efforts and achieve far more than what we have achieved over the last 94 years in these coming 6 years. So long as we do not lose sight of all these fundamental principles which are the soul of our society, then we can lay claim, as I said there, to a future as exciting and brilliant as our past. In reaching this century of academic bliss, nobody else can do it better than the alumni of our institutions who had experienced that bliss in the institutions where they were taught. So it is their responsibility to take it to the next generation of SIES. As I come to the end of my address this evening, long as it were, may the good Lord shed His grace on all of us. May He enable us to achieve the purposes of our life. Janma Safalyam. This birth should be successful for us. Otherwise, animals also live. Animals also have been given birth. So Janma Safalyam is what is the grace that we need from Him. May He bless us further so that we can incorporate into our lives through passage of time in this eternal quest, in this pilgrimage of perfection, a little of the selflessness, sacrifice and seva that is the hallmark of the life of our teachers and our staff, and then make our lives sublime. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much, sir, for those inspiring words. Your emphasis on building lifelong relationships with the alumni was truly heartwarming. Thank you very much for explaining the institution's remarkable present and the promising future that lies ahead. Now we move to the next segment of this event, for which I would like to invite Mr. Vedant Tripathi and Ms. Ananya Mali onto the stage. Till then, I am your host, Kailash Dinesh.
And I, Gail D'Souza,
Signing off.
Thank you, Kailash and Gail. It is often said that the true legacy of an institution is not merely built in its classrooms, but reflected in the lives and accomplishments. We are extremely proud to confer the Distinguished Alumnus SIES Bhushan Award 2026 on Sri Ramanujam sir.
Thank you, sir. It is truly an honor celebrating your incredible journey with us. We call upon our next distinguished awardee to receive the SIS Bhushan Award. Shri Bhaskar Bhatt, sir, Chairman Rallis India, Kansai Nerul Paints, Trustee, Sir Dorabji Tata Trust. He is widely respected for his visionary leadership in building one of India's most admired brands. Under his leadership, the market cap of Titan Company grew to $13 billion in 2019 and is now the second largest in Tata Group. He was the managing director and CEO of Titan between 2002 to 2019, and he is also the independent director of several companies.
May we have a huge round of applause for Sir.
Sir, your journey is nothing short of inspiring.
Our next awardee represents the very highest ideals of the judiciary. A former judge of the Madras High Court and Rajasthan High Court, a former Chief Justice of the Madras High Court and Rajasthan High Court, his distinguished service reflects unwavering commitment to integrity, justice, and public service. It is our privilege to invite Honorable Retired Justice K.R. Shriram Sir to receive the SIS Bhushan Award. May we have a huge round of applause for Sir. His contributions to the legal fraternity stand as a testament to the principles that uphold our judicial system. Through years of dedicated service, he has not only delivered impactful judgments, but has also inspired generations of legal professionals with his clarity of thought, fairness, and ethical leadership. His life exemplifies unfailing courage, compassion, wisdom, and zeal. Thank you so much, sir. It was both an honor and a privilege having you here this evening.
Music and art have always been an integral part of the SIS community, enhancing its rich cultural legacy and shaping generations. It is a matter of great pride that several names in the world of music are SIS alumni. Today, it is our honor to award none less than Padma Shri Dr. Aruna Sairam Ma'am, one of India's most celebrated Carnatic vocalists and a global ambassador for Indian classical music, who has taken this rich tradition to audiences across the world. Padma Shri Dr. Aruna Sairam Ma'am was all eager to be with us this evening, but unfortunately, she's unwell and has been medically advised not to be airborne for the next few weeks. Despite her absence, she has graciously shared a special video message with us from Chennai, which will be played later. We are delighted to have with us her husband, Sri Sairam Sir, also an esteemed alumnus of SIES, who has travelled all the way from Chennai to be part of this momentous occasion. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Sir for accepting the award and honors on behalf of his beloved wife, Padma Shri Dr. Aruna Sairam Ma'am. We now invite our next distinguished alumnus to receive the SIS Bhushan Award, Shri U. Shekhar Sir, the Chairman of Galaxy Surfactants Limited. Beginning his entrepreneurial journey literally in a garage in 1980, he built Galaxy Surfactants into a multi-crore enterprise over the years. He leads the organization by example upholding the highest standards of integrity and transparency. It is a true Indian pioneer in the chemicals and consumer care industry that has contributed to society. A leader whose professional achievements reflect excellence and dedication. He is also a recipient of the Distinguished Alumnus Award of IIM Kolkata and the Institute of Chemical Engineering ICT Mumbai, and the Lifetime Achievement Award for his contribution to the chemical industry. Sir, we are blessed to have you as a role model to our SIES family, inspiring us to dream, to lead, and to create enduring institutions.
Unless you accept that you are the bottleneck, growth will never happen. A powerful insight shared by our next awardee at Envision 2025 as he laid down a playbook for turning founder-led passion into scalable, system-driven excellence. It is no surprise that he is an epitome of Viksit Bharat and its new age entrepreneurs. May we request our next awardee this evening, Shri Mehul M. Shah Sir, a distinguished entrepreneur whose contributions to the industry and society embody the spirit of enterprise, to receive the SIS Bhushan Award. Could we have a huge round of applause for Sir? As the Managing Director of N-Cube Ethicals Private Limited, a market leader in topical landscape, he has set global standards in pharmaceutical manufacturing. He was awarded as Emerging Entrepreneur of the Year at the Indian Pharma Awards in 2015, and currently he serves as the Vice President of the Indian Drugs Manufacturers Association, IDMA, contributing significantly to the growth and advancement of the industry. Thank you, sir, for redefining the spirit of enterprise. The SIES family is immensely proud to confer this honor upon you. In the world of sport, excellence is defined by discipline, precision, and an unyielding pursuit of greatness. Our final distinguished alumnus to receive the SIS Bhushan Award is Srimati Suma Shirur ma'am, a Dronacharya awardee, Olympian, world record holder of 10-meter air rifle shooting, and an Arjuna awardee. Srimati Suma Shirur ma'am is a distinguished pioneer in the field of sport, whose remarkable achievements and numerous accolades stand as a testament to her dedication and excellence. Through her journey, she has not only brought laurels, but has also served as a source of inspiration for aspiring athletes across the nation. Her international acclaim as a shooter has brought immense pride to the nation as well as to the SIES family. Ma'am, your journey from these halls to the world stage remains a beacon of inspiration. We are truly honored to recognize your historic achievements with this award. Once again, thank you for being here.
To have such distinguished luminaries in our midst and not to invite them to share their reflection on this momentous occasion would be to forego a truly invaluable opportunity. As SIES, in its 94th year, embarks on this inspiring journey towards its centenary, we invite our SIS Bhushan awardees, distinguished global leaders and visionaries in their respective fields to share their thoughts and reflection on this significant milestone.
We will now begin with the video messages from Shri Raj Subramaniam sir, please. May we request the video to be played.
SIS College has played a foundational role both in my life and the lives of my family members. In fact, my father studied at Hello, SIS College students and alumni, and greetings all the way from Memphis, Tennessee, the hometown and headquarters of FedEx Corporation. I wish I could be there. Hello, SIS College students and alumni, and greetings all the way from Memphis, Tennessee, the hometown and headquarters of FedEx Corporation. I wish I could be there in person with you for the first ever all SIS institutions alumni reunion. But I wanted to share how honored I am to receive our Outstanding Alumnus Award. SIS College has played a foundational role both in my life and the lives of my family members. In fact, my father studied at SIS school, and my aunt was a school teacher there. I have so many fond memories of the years I spent at SIS. I want to thank all of the faculty, the staff, and the students that played such an important role in shaping my early education. I also want to thank all of you here today for continuing to inspire and lead the next generation. As I close, I encourage all of you to think bigger, connect with people who challenge and inspire you, and engage in conversations and collaborations that push your limits. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking out your time and sending us such a beautiful message all the way from Memphis. Next, we have a video message from Dr. Lata Ramchand, ma'am.
Namaste. It is both a pleasure and a privilege for me to participate in this event. I'm honored and humbled by this recognition. To say that some of my best years as a student were spent in the hallways of SIS College in Sion is probably an understatement. It is said that a good education opens doors, and a great education helps us create better versions of ourselves. And I would offer that an SIES education did both for so many of us. It certainly opened doors for me. I am a first-generation student, first in my immediate family to attend college, and the professors at SIES served as true educators, mentors, coaches, who I will name even today. Professors like Francis Mecheri, Derek Antau, Dhruv Kumar Joshi, of course Professor Ramki, Professor Venkatraman, and who could forget Principal Ramaswamy, whose lectures in economics ring in my ears to this day. We would often joke that you did not have to be in his classroom physically to benefit from his lectures. You could hear him at the other end of the building. These were authentic scholars, leaders who shaped my journey, and I will always remain grateful for what they did for students like myself. In this environment where learning was a real joy, we also learned to cultivate friendships, deep friendships that I carry with me today. Thank you to WhatsApp. Many in my class stay connected. And we often reminisce about how joyful our time at SIES was. And today, as I lead a university myself, as Chancellor at Indiana University in Indianapolis, I reflect on my journey at SIES. And I want to do for my students what SIES did for me. My SIES education taught me to show up, to participate, to learn to engage, to learn how to learn, and to learn to always do your best, not just once in a while, but in everything you do. That to me is the SIES brand, a brand where excellence shines through in everything you do, and where the journey of learning is as valuable as the destination. Thank you, SIES, and thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your personal endeavors at SIES. We appreciate your eloquent and impactful words.
May we now invite Shri Mehul M. Shah sir to share his thoughts.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, sincere thanks to Dr. V. Shankar for this really selection for me to stand before you. It is really very big, proud privilege. It gives me great pleasure and joy beyond description to be with you all at this memorable function. It is homecoming to every student that he looks forward to. The joy of reunion is to be experienced, to be believed. It's a feeling of being loved again. To be honored by the institution with a Distinguished Alumnus Award, more than a recognition for what little I have achieved in life till now, is the responsibility that I carry for the rest of my life to keep SIS flag flying high at all times. Nostalgic memories of my brief period of 2 years at SIS College of Arts, Science and Commerce, SIAN, it flashes before me. I'm talking about year 1981 to 1983. As a young boy coming from a vernacular medium school, the early days in the college were beset with unfounded fears of my ability to connect with students who converse with ease in English. The ethos of the institution and the student-centric environment that the college has drowned all these years, all these fears, when every member of the staff and the teachers kept me and all students with similar backgrounds in comfort and guide us in inter-se communication with fellow students and teachers as well. I used to stay just 4 buildings away from the college. Even as a young school-going student, it was my dream that one day I should join this college. The teachers in science stream those days were best in the profession across all colleges in the city, and I mean it. Be it mathematics, physics, or chemistry, the way they taught, even the most dull-headed would absorb and understand. I am one of them. The co-curricular activities of the college catalyzed all-rounded development of the student. I fully benefited during those 2 years. When I passed out, I was confident enough to reach out to the further higher education. I joined Kundnani College of Pharmacy and learned the basics of pharmaceutical sciences that sowed the seeds in me for the first generation entrepreneur in pharmaceutical manufacturing. I owe it to both these institutions for rapid progress of my company N-Cube, which I had started way back in 1998. Over the years, it has emerged as one of the most respected and globally acclaimed topical dosage form manufacturer. Simplicity in operations, digitalizations in operations, complexity in output. N-Cube has owned the domain of topical products for the last 3 decades, with 2 state-of-art plants that manufacture the products that are found in almost every household. Its track record is a clear representation of consistent excellence and quality. Some of the brands you might be using: Soframycin, Cetaphil, Voveran, and many more, Betnovits. Thank you. In the years that you get occupied with the responsibility to run the businesses that you create, momentarily the alma mater goes out of focus and attention. But the urge to return to the alma mater as we reminisce the golden days in the campus is overwhelming. And soon we find our way to these temples of learning that made us what we are today. When the president of the society, Dr. V. Shankar, my guru, invited me to attend the inaugural function of the SIS School of Pharmaceutical Sciences, I could easily realize that SIS of the day is far more advanced and in its educational delivery than most of the institutions in the city, and could easily connect with the vision of the society in this field of high endeavor. I had never seen in my more than 3 decades of professional career pharmaceutical education, an institution starting a pharmaceutical formulation, innovation, technology, and engineering center at the beginning of its academic journey. Normally, it happens only for the master's course and not during the early days of pharmacy. But to have day one is really a truly great mark of the vision this institution is having. My Guru Dakshina instinct committed me to contribute a small amount of rupees 5 crore for this project, which are fulfilled. Its inauguration on 24th May 2025 was dream come true. A similar center at Kundanani College of Pharmacy was also supported by me, and we gave a small grant of 2.5 crore there. I have further committed 2.5 crore for the SIS University as soon as it is notified. It is indeed a sense of fulfillment for all that the institution has given to me. While I congratulate all other awardees, far senior to me, more accomplished in their lives, I'm humbled by this honor, and it would be my pleasure to give back through my mentorship of students of the Pharma School, so that they too can reach one day higher levels in their lives and possibly can contribute in the Viksit Bharat 2047, when our Prime Minister has laid the vision for pharma industry to be $500 billion industry from the current $60 billion industry. You all can imagine it took 78 years to reach $60 billion. And the size of the opportunity in next 22 years is going to be humongous. And for the institution like SIS and the students who are part of it, I think you are all going to be in for a great journey here on. I sincerely thank the South Indian Education Society for this honor, which I shall cherish throughout my life. Thank you all very much. God bless us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing such valuable experiences. Your words were both inspiring and enlightening. We thank you once again. Now, we would like to request Shri R. Ramanujam, sir, to share his thoughts.
Thank you. My dear friends and members of the SIES family, I feel that I'm very lucky to be standing here in front of you all and witness these very touching comments made by many people about the school. The school has left an endearing impression on my life. Whatever you do, wherever you go, the moorings of the early education that I received has guided me throughout my life. I must say that some of my old schoolmates are either scattered or I'm out of touch. But still, I remember those names and the friendship I had with them throughout the school career. I left the school in 1950. Not much difference between the school starting in 1932 and by joining the school in 1945. I must commend this management of the school and the management staff and Dr. V. Shankar for the outstanding achievements in developing the various career-wise topics as part of the expanding education. Today, technology is different. The field of education has expanded drastically. Access to technology, be it software, bioscience, data science, defense, or more interested, exciting aerospace, is all before us today in many walks of life. I'm told that India appoints the maximum number of lady pilots in the country. This is a tribute to all the lady members who achieved this distinction of safety and regularity. If I may venture to say that the generation over the long years will see a change in the diaspora of this country. Fortunately, even with all the calamity surrounding the globe and that what we see around us, India continues to be a continent of peace. This provides us a firm footing for whatever we do. There are many agreements in force countrywide to attract new investments to be launched for manufacturing in India. In the words of our Prime Minister, we have to remember that Make in India, for India is something that he has directed to all of us. To leverage, we have to retain and upskill our workforce in order to move up the value chain and be gloriously acclaimed. In this context, I would like to say that in the industrial world, the whole climate has changed to total productivity management, which means that every little function of the industry has to be improved to save costs, to be safe, and to be highly quality oriented. I'm glad to say that SIS, looking at all these huge 85 buildings, have contributed to the academic institutions of this country. This academic knowledge can prove to be a flying start for the school to advance towards the year 2032, which is the centenary year. Looking back, I'm deeply grateful for the school which shaped my values and prepared me to face the challenges in life. Once again, I'm deeply indebted to Dr. Shankar to have invited me for this function. I wish you all a very pleasant day and continued cooperation with the school and a very bright future. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much, sir, for those inspiring words. We are sincerely grateful for your thoughtful and inspiring reflections. It has been nothing short of an honor listening to you. May we now invite Shri Bhaskar Bhatt, sir, to say a few words.
check. Hello, can you hear me? Good evening, Dr. Manmohan Sharma ji. It is indeed an honor to share the same stage with you and all the other dignitaries who are so deserving of the Distinguished Alumnus Award. Dear alumni sitting in this audience, a disclaimer first. A few words is what I was asked to speak, and I will. A disclaimer first. It is indeed gracious of the SIS institutes and Dr. Shankar to have discovered me for this award. Why I say discovered is, I spent only 1 year at this institute. And having discovered, the institute having discovered, I began my journey of discovery of the institute. So the disclaimer is, there is a formula which I developed many, many years ago, not that many years ago, as I grew farther and farther away from the institutions of learning that I was associated with. It is called N is equal to Y multiplied by K. For me, that N is 55,000. I'll tell you what it means. And that is where my story starts. I'll just share for 2 minutes. All of us, especially you, alumni, and I, an alumnus of SIES, I finished from this institute 55 years back. And I live 1,000 kilometers from here. So the degree of nostalgia that you feel for the institution is directly proportional to the number of years you have not gone back to the institution and the distance that you have from that institution. So for me, it is 55,000 year kilometers. Okay? It has beaten the next institute I went to, which is only 50 years back, and Chennai is maybe a little closer, I don't know. But be that as it may. So when I saw the video and I heard the others, Dr. Lata Ramchand and everyone at the coffee table, I was really filled with nostalgia. And nostalgia, of course, I mean, as I read and heard from Dr. Shankar, everything that this institution has done, it left me with a sense of pride, of course, and to have been chosen and discovered, as I said, it truly leaves me, I won't say humble, I'm really, really impressed with the work that the institution has done. So thank you for that. In return, what can I give? This 1 year that I spent here, it was not as close as Mehul's place, but I could walk from my house to the SIES College of Arts and Science. And it was the sincere, I mean, I can sincerely say that from my, SIES has given me one language. And that was not because I studied in SIES. It gave me fluency in the Tamil language. And I'll tell you why. The place I lived in, I was the only non-Tamil and only non-SIES student. There was one more person above me. So there were 40 kids and 38 of them were Tamil SIES students. So how can you not learn? So I'm grateful to SIES for teaching me Tamil. And last but not the least, I think SIES created that bridge for my future life. And now as I reflected, when I read everything and I said I discovered SIES, I do recall every name, and that is, I think, the gift that SIES has given me. So I'd like to pay tribute to each one of those who drilled a sense not just of knowledge and information, but a sense of values. Each one of them had a certain character, and maybe in one word I will define them. The physics department had Professor C.P. Narayan, whose dreaded question papers we had to prepare for, saying CP is setting the question paper, so you have to study a lot and borrow previous year's question papers. Then there was Professor Ramanathan, who spent 20 minutes in one class asking one question and none of us could answer. He said, he asked us in physics, in the physics class, can you define vertical? So we went on, all kinds of answers came up, and he sat on the desk. You know, he would sit on the table, and all of us struggling with various answers, thought we would be wise, smart, all kinds of things. And then he said, have you gone to the beach in Chowpatty? He said, yes. When you see in the distance the sun setting, what do you see? You see, we said we see the horizon. So the perpendicular to that is the vertical, is what he said. So, and then there was Professor Venkatraman. In chemistry, there was Professor Ramachandran, whose Linde's process diagram I'll never forget. And there was the inimitable Professor Ramki, whose, as he wrote on the board, you could hear the chalk squealing. Whether the board was squealing or the chalk was squealing, I don't know. But the way he would say delta neighborhood and then delta tending to zero, it has stuck in your head what calculus is all about. Professor Narayan Swami, who in class once said, all life is Maya. And you know what happened. All the boys in the class said, yes, she's the best looking girl in the class. And then somebody said, hey, this is a quote from the Vedas, Vedantas and the Bhagavad Gita, don't fool around with all this. And so on and so forth. Professor Batliwala, who taught botany and zoology, who said, the kidney is bean-shaped, the bean being kidney-shaped. So, you know, it was so simple to understand what the shape of the kidney was. I really, really enjoyed my days, but I regret, and that nostalgia never ever goes away, which is I didn't go to the canteen. You know, the canteen was where everybody had fun. And I didn't bunk class to go to Rupam Cinema to watch a movie. I want to leave only one thought with everyone. I have spent 43 out of the 55 years working for a group which works for society, and now I'm associated with the trusts. And it is the ownership of the Tata Group is structured like that. All the profits of all the companies which flow through Tata Sons, the ownership is with Tata Trust, whose only job in life is serving society. 67% of Tata Sons is. Therefore, as we gather knowledge, education, and wisdom, and we go forward, I think India has great opportunity. We talk of opportunity, of prosperity, creating fortunes in business, economic value, etc. But if we look at the other side of the coin, there is opportunity to make a difference in the lives of many, many, many millions of Indians who still, I mean, the statistics will tell you they are above the poverty line, and, you know, open defecation has stopped in this country. It is not. So I would urge all of us to think about those who are underprivileged in this country, and that's what the Tata Trusts do. And the last bit, I don't stand here to advise the SIES institutions, but I talk about this to all educationists, which is, you know, you've done such wonderful work in the latest, which is COEAI, which is Center of Excellence in Artificial Intelligence. All of that on the one hand, because today LFH, you can sit at home, not WFH, you can LFH, which is learn from home, because Google can practically tell you everything that C.P. Narayan or Ramanathan or Narayan Swami articulated in class. But Google gives you only information. It cannot transfer human values, the ethos, the ethics, the integrity that came across through in those classes. So for me, being in the classroom, attending the class is such an important part of education. It's not just information transfer, and it's not just knowledge, it is beyond that. And I did enjoy that 1 year, despite the fact that it was only 1 year. So thank you once again for inviting me, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing such valuable perspectives and for that nostalgic trip down memory lane. May we now invite retired Justice K.R. Sriram, sir, to share his thoughts.
Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I thought of starting my little speech with this because, but for the gurus, but for the teachers, we would not have been here standing before all of you. Thank you very much, all the teachers, and one teacher I can see here is Sri Venkatramani, who has taught me. I was just inquiring, I think I am the only commerce student. I was in the first batch of SIES 1983. So in the Navaratna, and having worn a black robe for the last 40 years of my life, I think I would be the Saturn there among the Navaratna. This evening is to honor the distinguished SIES alumnus. I would nominate two for the next year. One is Sri Shankar himself. And one, having mentioned about teachers, my childhood friend who was my classmate in school, Dr. Uma Maheshwari. She was the principal of SIES, and now she is, even after demitting that office, is still actively involved with SIES. After I heard Sri Bhatt, as lawyers would say, I adopt his arguments and sit down. I felt there is some similarity between him and me. Even I was a student only for 1 year. Perhaps Almighty sent me to that college for 1 year to be here amongst all of you, but for that opportunity. And his reason was his neighbors were all in SIES. And my reason was I liked a girl there, so I moved college from her. Having said I was the only student who would attend the 6:45 class, the commerce class used to start at 6:45 to 9:45. And among the boys, I was the only one in the class, and there will be a smattering of 2 or 3 girls for the first period. Industrial psychology. And more than the class, I enjoyed the Gurbani from the Gurudwara next door. At 7 o'clock, it would start. I also do not have much memory because actually when I went, Professor Ramaswamy's name was mentioned. After second year BCom, I went to meet him. I was still awaiting my results. And I said, sir, I want to join your college. And I said, what for? He said, what for? And my father being a cost accountant, I had also joined for ICWA. So I said, after my classes here at 9:30, I can go for cost audits. He said, you're speaking the truth. I liked you, so I will give you admission, but let your results be declared. I said, sir, results will come. You have started classes because that year the results were getting delayed. So why don't you give me allow me to attend classes. And once I get my results, you can confirm my admission. Perhaps that's where I started my negotiation skills as a lawyer. And he gave me admission. I started attending classes without being a full-time student of SIES, and that was confirmed once the results were declared. Having said that, I wouldn't have been here, but for the journey I had as a lawyer, then as a judge. I need to mention about that journey. I am an accidental lawyer. I was not even thinking of doing law when I was in SIS. In 1983, after graduating, when one of the audits I went, I happened to meet my then senior who said, why don't you take up law? I took up law, never ever thought of becoming a judge. In 2005, my father asked me, late father, he said, would you accept judgeship if it is offered? I said, no, Appa, it's very difficult. I have to buy a house, I have to buy a office, etc., etc. The salary is also not enough. And in 2013, at the peak of my career, I was doing fairly well. I gave up everything to become a judge. I never thought I would become a Chief Justice. I thought I would retire as a puisne judge. Luck made me a Chief Justice of Madras. And then I became Chief Justice of Rajasthan. 2 big states. And being a Chief Justice is not an easy job, and it was quite exciting. As a judge, I should tell you when I was introduced by the young man, he said certain things, bold, courageous, blah, blah, blah. The credit for all that, and if my genes has justice in it, it goes to my mother. The day I was administered oath and when I went back home in the evening, my mother opened the door and with a grin she said, oh, I've got a judge coming into my house. And then she gave me a hug. She said, son, I'm going to tell you something, keep that in mind. In olden days, people would go to the king for justice. And if the palace is too far, they would go to the temple for justice and cry. So I said, you must have seen some Shivaji Ganesan movie this evening. So she said, no, son, from today, they are going to come to you seeking justice. You are at par with the king or God. Do not betray the faith or hope that they come to you with. Do the best that your conscience tells you and be an honest judge. And I lived up to my mother's advice and demitted office just 6 months ago. Having said that, I have to mention the great support my wife gave me. For a man who is driving a Mercedes and all that as a lawyer, to give up everything and become a judge was a tough call. This basic salary that I started off as a judge was less than what a new lawyer in a big law firm was earning. The moment I told my wife that may I accept, not even I said, I actually asked her, may I accept judgeship? Immediately she said, do it. Out of 1.4 billion population, very few get called to become a judge of a high court. You're one of them, so just accept it. My mother supported, and even my daughter was ready and accepted it. So I should thank the two of them, at least, who are present here, for the support they gave. And two who are not here, my in-laws. For any girl's parents, it is a big worry that their son-in-law is going to give up all the earnings and then become a high court judge for a pittance of a salary. My in-laws supported me. And I have to say, my entire family members supported. During my journey as a judge, I had a wonderful time. I was asking Mr. Ramnarayan, what about the law school? He said it is yet to come through, but I can tell one thing, Mr. Shankar. If I have to be involved, I am more than happy to do it. And please use me for whatever you can. Thank you very much, everybody. Good evening, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wisdom and inspiring thoughts. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Next, we have a video message from Padma Shri Dr. Aruna Sairam ma'am. May we request the video to be played.
It is with great joy and with great honor that I receive the SIES Distinguished Alumnus Award. I convey my thankfulness to this esteemed institution for conferring this prestigious award on me. As I reflect back on those amazing, memorable days when we attended college, I am struck by the feelings that I had when I would enter the portals of the college. When I entered the entrance already, we used to feel a sense of pride, a sense of thrill, because this is a temple of learning, and that vibration carried us forward. Then meet up with friends, go up to the corridors outside the classroom and chat, a bit of, little sweet nothings. And then suddenly there would be a hush and professor would be walking into the class. So we would quickly scamper and go and take our seats. And all of these great teachers, be it Professor Ramanathan, Professor Venkatraman, Professor Kulur, Professor C.P. Menon, who we affectionately called CP, and ever so many others, they were really masters. As soon as they came and stood facing the class, there would be a hushed silence in the class, and for the next several minutes we would just attention, give it to them and lap everything up, whatever they spoke. And their lectures would be filled with information, material, and everything that we needed for our study further. These were great people. They not only taught us physics or chemistry or botany, They taught us values, values of sincerity, the values of authenticity, and most importantly, the value that we would realize that one cannot know everything in life at any given moment, but with hard work, with the pursuit of knowledge, with effort, one can acquire knowledge, seek it, and get it, learn it, and grow at any time, at any age. And that lesson, that value we carry with us even now. They also taught us the importance of service to society. They built our society, and now it's our turn to do that. So this is only with the warmest of memories that I recollect my days at the SIS. I am so sorry and sad that I am missing being with all of you all at this very special reunion. Due to unavoidable circumstances, I am not able to come. My husband, Sairam, who is also an alumnus of the SIS College, has the privilege and the joy of receiving this prestigious award on both of our behalf, because his contribution is so important in whatever I do. So I'm so happy that he's able to come and receive this award in person. My felicitations and congratulations to Shankarji. He is taking this institution from strength to strength to strength and making it grow by leaps and bounds every day, every week, every year. Incidentally, as I was just poring through my old papers of my Bombay days, to my great pleasure and surprise, I found my ID card when I was a student at SIS, which I proudly share with you here. Thank you for this honor and heartful namaskar to each one of you. Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you, ma'am. As ma'am rightly said, that SIS is a temple of education and knowledge. I think it is evident that we have lived up to it. Now, may we invite Shri U. Shekhar sir to say a few words.
Good evening to all of you. Thank you, SIS. To be remembered by your alma mater, to be acknowledged, to be honored is indeed a great feeling. But my delight is multiplied manifold, of course, by the presence of my wife, Lakshmi, and Vijaya, who is very much here. By the presence of my Professor M.M. Sharma, whom we fondly refer as Professor MMS. My own classmates, Bhaskar Bhatt, Shankar, and Ram Narayan, and many more of my classmates who have come all the way to be present here to be attending this particular function. Thank you very much all. So the years 70 to 72, which I spent in SIS, I have many fond memories. But whenever I remember about SIS, the most things that come to my mind are the teachers and the professors. Professor Ramki, Professor Narayan Swami, Professor Tambe, who taught us trigonometry, coordinate geometry. Professor Ramki, his lecture was a treat, and we always look forward to. Professor Venkatraman, I still remember, and his lecture on kinetic theory of gases still reverberates in my mind. His energy, his vigor, his sense of humor, and particularly the encouragement that he gave to me for my table tennis still, I still remember him. Professor Padmanabhan's, effective play with equations was like an exquisite ballet on both the blackboard and the stage. Okay. Now, of course, my interest in chemistry, I remember, was first kindled by, in my school, when I was in 7th standard, my teacher called Vardhan Sir in SIWS, when he put a piece of sodium in a glass jar of water, and I could see it burning, and I was hooked to chemistry. But Professor Padmanabhan, in the way he took care of me, he nurtured my love of chemistry, and it, in a long way, in a very significant way, determined my desire to do chemical engineering and my career in the chemical industry. Of course, when I was seeing the NCC students here, I was transported back to those first 2 years where I did my NCC. Of course, the uniforms were very different then. NCC did teach me discipline, but what it taught me more was camaraderie, the trick or the capability to work, create in a team. And I still remember Professor Batiwala, the way he conducted NCC during those particular 2 years. So all in all, I think the experience of 2 years in SIS was a great experience which prepared me for the journey ahead. So once again, thank you very much all. Thank you SIS. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Your words have added immense value to this evening. Finally, we would like to invite Srimati Suma Shirur ma'am to say a few words.
Respected members on the dais and my dear SIS alumnus here. First of all, I'm deeply honored and rather humbled by the award today. Throughout my career, I think there's one question that has been asked the most. I started shooting 33 years ago. So how the hell did you start shooting in those times when people didn't know that shooting was an Olympic sport? So in every interview, I had to mention that it all started in SIS college when I joined NCC in my very first year. And the very first time I held a gun was when I was in the NCC unit, my first year of college, as I was studying chemistry. And my first group was so small that immediately I was christened champion by the SIS unit of NCC. And not only did they encourage me, they actually took me personally to the Maharashtra Rifle Association, showing me the way that, hey, you're good, you should be going here. And that's when I started professional shooting. So I think literally, had it not been for SIS, I don't know if I would have had the opportunity of finding my passion, which has also become my profession. And throughout these years, in this very academic-heavy institution, I must say that my chemistry department was fantastic. Balakrishna sir is here. Sir, I'm so delighted to see you here. Helping me with all my journals, doing out-of-turn practicals because I would be going for competitions. And my dear friend Chandrasekhar, he's also here. And who really treated me like a champion every time I won a small state medal as well. So you can imagine his delight when I went to the Olympic final. So I did get a call from him. So the entire department has been so encouraging. My parents who are here, and they are the main ones who wanted me to join SIS. It's a South Indian Education Society college. You are South Indian, you should go there. So though I stayed in Panvel, I should travel all the way to Sion. It was a long journey. Now when I look back, I don't know how I did that, but I did that for almost 10 years, from Panvel to Sion, and then from Sion I would take the 169 to Worli, and that's where I did my shooting. After the chemistry, lectures, practicals, you guys made us work so hard. So after 3:30, I would go to Worli, finish my training at 6, and then by the time I reached home, it was 9 again at night, sometimes 10. So that was a hard job, but I think it eventually paid off, and it's been a beautiful life. I think an athlete's life is really wonderful. I was the chief coach of the Indian team right up to the Paris Olympics, and it's been a great journey, I think. So, and I still remember the first time in my final year, I became the junior national champion. And when I entered college, there was this picture of mine with a congratulations, you know, the first time you felt like you're a hero. So I think SIS has given me a lot of love, encouragement. They've been very strict. I hated you when I was there, but I can only thank you now, because otherwise I'm sure, you know, I would have had hard time finishing my graduation. So on the day of my results, I remember my friends on the first floor, you know, with a smile on their face, and I thought I'd failed. And then they were all clapping for me because thankfully I passed with the first class. So I think it was a great place that taught me that you can do academics and sport both together. And this is what as a coach, I also tell all the athletes who are working with me that you don't have to give up anything. You can manage academic and sport both as much, at least until your graduation. So thank you, SIS. It's for the life that I've had, you know, after studying there. And if there's it makes me happy to know about an SIS university. I hope we do a lot for sport in the university, and that would be a great way of giving back to my alma mater. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for those motivating words. Your journey is nothing short of inspiring for each and every one present here. Finally, we would like to invite Shri Sairam sir, who would like to speak on behalf of his wife, Padma Shri Dr. Aruna Sairam ma'am.
Respected luminaries seated on the dais, Sri Shankar sir, my dear alumni, and other dear friends who are assembled here. Of course, much has been talked about Aruna. She herself has said it all. But the purpose of my coming here is to say how proud I am to receive this award on her behalf. And and she's an alumni, and I'm also an alumni. Beyond this, I wanted to say something. That's the very purpose why I'm here. My daughter, she's also an alumni of SIS College. She did her management studies the moment the Institute of Management Studies was commissioned. And she passed it with flying colors, and immediately thereafter she got married. I just gave a father, naturally, is concerned about his daughter, the way she'll grow up. But within a few months, she was appointed at a very high level at Verizon in the US. And thereafter, again, Amazon called her, she went to Seattle. She was there as a director of Amazon. I asked her once, how come? I couldn't believe that it's my daughter who has achieved all that. It's a dad's feeling, because he always looks at his daughter as a child. She said, Dad, she made one statement. I'm a graduate of SIS Management Studies, Nerul. That is still very firmly etched in my memory. And that is the very purpose of why I'm here, to say what SIS institutes are. And our grateful thanks go to Shankar sir, who has maintained that intensity of preparation, intensity of growth, and made us all proud of being an alumni of this institute. Thank you so much. God bless.
We thank our esteemed awardees for their inspiring, thoughtful, and impactful words. It has been an honor listening to you all. What an incredible lineup of achievers we have witnessed today. May we now request the awardees and dignitaries to kindly come forward for a group photograph to commemorate this special moment.
As we come to the conclusion of this memorable evening, I would like to invite Shri M.V. Ramnarayan sir, Honorable Working President of the South Indian Education Society, to deliver the vote of thanks.
I will be as quick as a bullet train which is getting built. Promise you. Respected President, distinguished guests, our very esteemed now SIS Bhushans, beloved alumni, faculty members, staff, dear students, and all the disappearing alumni. It's both an honor and a privilege to propose this vote of thanks. At the outset, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the alumni who attended in the mornings in their respective institutions, who traveled from far and wide, and then who took the trouble to come here. You have come back not just to visit memories, but to rekindle your bonds and reaffirm your roots and re-energize the spirit of SIS. A very special word of congratulations and appreciation to our SIS distinguished awardees, the SIS Bhushans. It's not an empty award. They have toiled a lifetime, and they have achieved what they have by sheer great perseverance and amazing dedication. And for us to honor them is to honor ourselves. SIS is very, very proud of them. And even if they have spent 1 year, that 1 year has changed the course of their lives. And we are very, very happy that this institution contributed to them. And they, in turn, we look forward to their munificent contributions to the SIS and the university which is now emerging. I'd like to express my gratitude to our indefatigable, ever-energetic president. Big round of applause to him. And he doesn't need any honors and thanks, but I think his involvement, meticulous attention to detail, his conceptualization to execution, everything has been instrumental in today's event. It is what has made Alumni 2026 come true. I thank all my fellow council members in the Managing Council. They have constantly guided and supported us. I thank sincerely all the heads of institutions, past and present, who have, with their remarkable ideas, meticulous planning, leadership, ensured the seamless rollout of this event. I'd like to place on record our sincere appreciation to the Alumni 2026 Task Force and Dr. Uma Shankar and all the others for the consistent coordination commitment. A special word of thanks to all the spokes of all the institutions who gathered the data of more than 50,000 alumni are today on the portal because of the tremendous effort by all the institutions' data gatherers. I would like to acknowledge with gratitude particularly the efforts of Ved More and Deepali Shah, who served as the single point of contact for this event. So many calls came, so many things, they handled it with good patience and great, diplomacy. Some people have shouted at them, screamed them, I am not able to log into your portal, I am not able to register, but they handled all those things well. My sincere appreciation to Major General Bikramjit Singh, who is sitting, only now he is sitting. He has been on his feet for the last 1 month. And Jai Daga, our Director IT, and their respective, all their teams, Sachin, everybody, for their painstaking efforts in planning every detail. I would like to thank Anand Krishnamurthy, our Director Audit, who for his wise counsel and perspective and constant support. My heartfelt thanks to all our staff and logistics and all the teams which worked here. And most importantly, a very special thanks to all our student volunteers, both NCC, NSS, and our great team of Kailash, Ananya, Vedant, and Gail, who did the comparing here today. Thank you very much. We will never forget your contribution. Events like this remind us that SIS is just not an institution, it's a lifelong relationship. ये तो जन्म जन्म का रिश्ता है. So please, let us take this on forward. Today is only the starting of our 7-year journey to 2032. That historic day beckons us, a centenary of events. But before that, we will have 7 years in which we will ensure that all the goals set by our presidents are achieved, all the mission objectives are achieved, and we continue to honor our very, very fine alumni across the world. I wishing you a good night. I think we have not had sufficient people. People have gone for their dinner. I won't keep you wait for long. Thank you very much. We will just, one SIS, always SIS. That's the bond for life. Thank you. Jai Maharashtra, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. May we now request everyone present to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
जय जय जय
Requesting everyone to please be seated. This evening has been special, and your presence has made it even more meaningful. We would love to know your feelings and thoughts as well. So we encourage you to take your phone and scan the QR code that you see on the screen and share your thoughts with us. QR code printouts have also been placed near the dining area for your convenience.
For Android and iPhone users, please scan using your Google Lens and tap Continue. Next, you can go and fill the form and add a one-line message for the SIS alumni and for the students. As we come to the close of this evening, we request all our alumni to kindly collect a small token of appreciation on your way out. The mementos are arranged at the exit from the lawn. Night evening comes to a close. We invite all our guests to join us for dinner. Kindly note, dining areas have been allocated college-wise for alumni. We hope you continue the evening reconnecting with fellow alumni and members of the SIS family. Thank you for being part of this special celebration. It has been a pleasure to host you this evening. We were your hosts,
Ananya Mali
and Vedant Tripathi, signing off.